Greetings, everyone. I hope everyone is having a great day. My name is Pastor Emmanuel Holland, lead pastor here at Renewed Covenant Christian Center, aka RC3, and we have an awesome lineup for you on today. I am so excited. There are some awesome young women that are here in the room with us on today, and we're going to have fun on today. We have I don't want to give everything out because I want them to be able to introduce themselves, but this is certainly going to be a great time. Last month, we highlighted two great young men as they were entering their collegiate career in pursuit of STEM careers. But we have two beautiful, bright, intelligent young women from right here from the Fuquay Arena area. I see their lovely faces. I see their smiles. I can't wait for them to be able to highlight what it is that they do and what they intend to do. And then we also have two other women that are in the criminal justice careers. I'll let them explain what it is that they do. They can take it as far as they want to take it, but I'll let them introduce themselves. And of course, we have another person on the line here, which is my seed, Savon Holland. I'm going to let him take the lead and ask these beautiful ladies some questions. And I'm pretty sure he'll do a good job with that. They are all quite familiar with one another as they are growing up together. They're all pursuing higher education. And how many of you all know that it's awesome to see young people, especially young people of color, pursuing higher education? We need more people in pursuit of higher education because we understand without education, you can only go so far. But with your education, there's nothing that you can accomplish. It leads into avenues of greatness. It takes you down a path to where you are more fortunate than others. So without further ado, I want to give Miss Qisondra Flowers an opportunity to introduce who she is and what.
Hi, everyone. Can you all hear me? Everyone can hear me good. Hi. My name is Qisondra Flowers. People call me Key. Native of Louisiana, but currently live in North Carolina in Fuquay Arena. I am a licensed attorney, and I currently work at a pharmaceutical organization where I negotiate and draft their contracts for clinical trials. So a lot of you are hearing right now about the vaccines that's going on, where my company played a role in that. Prior to that, however, I have worked with the New Orleans criminal defense. So I was working with the New Orleans Public Defender's Office. I'm a community activist and organizer, just doing grassroots campaigns. Just finished up my master's in public health with a focus on health policy, but focusing directly on the prison population and how they're being affected. So that's just a little bit about me. I mean, in my spare time, I do like to write plays, read books, and just travel when I can.
Awesome. Awesome. I hope you all are taking notes and listening to what it is that she's saying because she's a good woman. She's a great woman. I've met her and her husband over a year ago, and they are a gem to this community. And so I really hope you young ladies are really taking notes as to what type of people are right here in your community. All right, Miss Shan-Tika, give us an idea of who you are, and you can take it how far as you want to take it.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shan-Tika Watkins, and I'm a graduate of North Carolina Central University 3 times. I got my master's law degree as well as my undergrad degree in finance, bachelor's of administration from North Carolina Central University. I am originally from Rockingham, North Carolina, which is a very small town. Some people are not aware of it in North Carolina. But I have been residing now in the Fuquay Arena area for over 10 years. I guess I just assimilated to the area after graduating from college. I am a special agent with the Internal Revenue Service Criminal Investigation, and I've been held that position for about 14 years now. And pretty much the nature of my job is to investigate violations of tax law or any financial crimes. It is a law enforcement position, and I'm sure we get a little bit further into that a little bit later, or if anyone would like to talk to me after the stream, I'll be happy to explain more about the position.
Awesome. Awesome. So I really hope you young ladies are really taking notes as to who these people are right here in Fuquay Varina. I mean, you don't have far to go, far to look. And so as you all begin to, you know, matriculate through college and into the workforce, please keep these seasoned. I need to be careful on how I say that. I just say seasoned young women in your mental Rolodex, and make sure that you are part of their network, because they are worth knowing. And so, Savine, go ahead and introduce yourself. And after you introduce yourself, I'll go ahead and let you kick off your questions.
All right, so I'm Savon Holland, former college athlete from Columbia International University. I just transferred from Columbia, South Carolina to back home. And I was a communications major, but now I switched majors. Now I'm trying to get my associates in arts, and I currently attend Johnson County Community College in Smithfield. So that's just me right there. That's not much, but it's something.
That's a lot. That's a big deal. Don't downplay it.
Yeah.
That's right. Don't you downplay that, son.
Yeah, see how you. All right. I'm going to start off my questions. And so Italia and Sierra, my first question is, can you introduce yourself and tell us about your faith and spirituality?
My name is Italya Hardy. I'm from Fuquay Marina. I went to Southeast Raleigh in 2017, and I'm currently after I graduated, I went to Lewisburg, and then I transferred back to Wake Tech. After Wake Tech, I'm at UNCP at the University of North Carolina at Pembroke. I'm a second-year sophomore, and this summer I will be a junior, and I'm majoring in criminal justice and minoring in psychology.
Wow.
I have a brother that also is from Fuquay, so my family is very known in Fuquay. My family is very active in Fuquay. We've been since we was like 3, playing Fuquay sports, involved with Fuquay. It's a lot it's honorable to be recognized as like a few people out of Fuquay who have their head on straight, because a lot of people I know don't, and they're doing whatever they have pursued to do. So yeah, but my faith is I have faith, but I don't really go to church like that because of COVID. But I do like talk to my pastor at my school and my old church that my grandma goes to. I have a good relationship with them. I talk to them when I have problems, when I have hardships. When I want to say a year ago, I didn't want to go back to school. I had to talk to my pastor about it because I was very discouraged. And I didn't feel, because I was minoring in biology. I was majoring in biology, and because I had a passion for it. And then my granddad died of COVID symptoms. He was sick, and then he ended up catching COVID in July last year, and then he had a little heart attack episode, and he ended up passing away. So that kind of still discouraged me, and I had to switch my majors because of all of that. So right now my faith with God, it's there, but it's because my granddad died, it kind of made me question a lot.
Okay. Well, you know what, Italia, we all have suffered a great deal during this pandemic, and I commend you for continuing to press forward. I know your family very well, but I kind of wanted you to put more out there before I began to brag on you. and your family. As a matter of fact, when I first moved to Fuquay, I met your family through youth sports. And I used to watch how your grandfather was so close with you all. I can recall there was a time where I believe your brother TJ wanted some popcorn from the vending machine, not machine, but from the vending area at one of the games, and TJ asked for some popcorn, and your grandfather went in his pocket, and your uncle Aaron was standing right beside him, and he said, "Come on, Dad, I want some popcorn too." And your grandfather went in his pocket and gave your uncle, which is my
$1.
age, exactly. He gave him
$1
because he wanted to not miss out. And so when I saw that example, I said to myself, here are 3 generations represented here: your grandfather, your uncle, and you and your brother. And your grandfather was right there recording all your games. And that's just amazing to see how great family is well connected with one another. So again, I commend you, and I'm so sorry, as well as all of us, we're so sorry for your loss. But I'm sure you're going to go on and make him proud and your family proud.
Definitely, definitely. He is mainly the reason why I went to school, because after I graduated, I wasn't going to go. I was going to take a semester off. And he was like, go play basketball, do this, do that, be something. So my goal is to graduate so that he is very happy for me. Because after he died, I got accepted to UNCP the 2 days after his funeral. After they had already in the summer told me that I got, what's the word? I didn't get accepted during the summer, and then fall came around like August 2nd. I got accepted, and classes started August the 3rd.
That's awesome. That is amazing. That's amazing. And so, Savon, if you can go ahead, and I want to pass it to Sierra now so that she can give her answer that question.
Yeah, so Sierra, can you introduce yourself and tell us about your faith and spirituality?
Hi, I'm Cierra Baker. Thank you all for having me today. I currently attend William Peace University. I'm technically a first semester junior because I'm graduating early. So I'm supposed to graduate in May of 2023, but I'm graduating in December of 2022. My major is criminal justice, also with a minor in psychology. And William Peace is also I don't know. That's so cool. She said that. I was like, oh, wow, that's so cool. But William Peace is in Raleigh. I'm captain of the women's basketball team here. I'm also I'm the president of Peace Ministry, which is essentially a Bible study group we have on campus. There's also a club and organization as well. I actually started it back up this semester. And so I'm the president of that. I'm a tutor here on campus. I'm also a peer mentor as well for other students, usually for freshmen. But next year I'm going to be RA on campus and orientation leader, so I can't do some of those roles again. So we'll see what happens. My faith is a Christian. I have always grown up in church. I've always had a relationship with God. But of course, as I got older, it grew stronger, of course. Like originally when I was younger, I didn't really understand the power of God, because when you're a kid, you don't really go through anything. You don't really have to call on Jesus as much. So essentially you just kind of go through the motions. And then as I got older, I started developing that relationship with God, and it's just gotten stronger. Especially since I've been in school. My freshman year here, my relationship with God was solidified. I had no doubts, no fears, no anything. And so starting my Bible study group up this year was extremely motivational for me. And I never thought that my relationship with God could grow stronger, but it has, and it's great. So
Wow, that is amazing. Now,
thank you.
let me go ahead and give you my story about the Bakers. I gave my story about the Hardys. Now I'm going to give my story about the Bakers. When I first came into, we actually transplanted into Fuquay. Savon actually played basketball on yours and CJ's team, and your dad, Mr. Baker, was the coach. And he actually inspired me to get into youth sports because I saw how he had the attention of the children, and he did so well with them. And just watching some of the things that he does here in the community, he's a major part of this community. As a matter of fact, I know that he's a deacon out at one of the ministries here, one of the churches here in Fuquay, and I watch and I admire how well he does what he does. As a matter of fact, Savon was on your team, your CJ's team, and you all played Italia's team for the championship. As a matter of fact, I still have those photos somewhere, but I believe you all were like 6 and 7 years of age, and Italia, she was a year ahead of you all, and her team had all the older children, and they won. They won that game. But yeah, your family is a great family, good God-fearing family as well, pillars within the community, and I admire how well you all are well connected and are, I guess, community leaders in everything that you all do. I just admire the work ethic, and I pray and I hope that you all will continue to be a blessing to the Fuquay Varina community. So that's my story about the Baker family. Savon, you can go ahead and move on, brother.
All right. So my next question is, I'll ask Natalia this question. Well, she already told us this, but where do you currently attend college, and what are your short-term goals?
I currently attend UNCP. It's the University of North Carolina at Pembroke. It's in a very small town in Pembroke. It's nothing. There's like 3 grocery stores, and it's very quiet. It's very diverse, but very, you can tell racism goes on around there. They don't really affiliate with the Black people in the community. They're Lumbies. They're like, from Pembroke, they're called the Lumbee tribe. So they are they're hardworking people, but they don't like competition from people, or they don't like, people who bring problems. And they mainly have problems with a lot of colored people in Pembroke because they feel like they're threats and they don't feel safe. But my short-term goal is I plan on applying to the Spelman College in 2022 to get my master's. But if not, then I plan on doing an internship I applied for with the FBI to be like, I kind of want to be a CIA, or I want to be like an FBI agent type thing. So I applied for an internship to follow some agents and be behind them and see if that's really what I want to do, because that's what I want to do. But I know it comes with a lot of trials and problems and hardships, and I just want to see if that's something that I want to do before I get ahead of myself.
Well, we're going to continue to keep you in prayer, put it that way, and keep you connected with some of these awesome seasoned women.
I was just going to add, I think we should definitely speak offline.
Definitely.
Right.
I have people at my school that look for other women, because in Pembroke there's not really a lot of leaders with this criminal justice major. So I would definitely tell them to talk to both of you ladies about what they feel like doing, because I have a lot of senior friends at Pembroke that honestly, they graduate in May and don't have nothing planned. So I will definitely talk to you guys after this.
See, that's the whole point of this. That's the whole purpose of this. Getting connected with people right here in your backyard. All right, Savon, keep on going, brother.
All right, so I'm gonna ask you the same question. Where do you attend college, and what are your short-term goals?
I attend William Peace University. It's located in Raleigh. My short-term goal, my internship is this summer. It's at the Wake County Sheriff's Department, so I'm excited for that. So my short-term goal is to basically just be successful through that. It's throughout the whole summer, and just ask the right questions and figure out what exactly I like and what I don't like about law enforcement. I also want to work with the FBI. My goal is to be a criminal investigator / prosecutor. So I definitely want to go to law school, which is like another short, long-term goal. So I guess just finishing out my undergrad pretty strong and building up my resume and just making sure that it's solid enough for me to get into law school once I graduate.
Amazing. Amazing.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started on my third question. Natalia, what is the importance of your faith and spirituality as you currently attend college as a student?
I do a lot of praying with my schoolwork and my tests, and because I'm not gonna lie, I procrastinate a lot. Like because of COVID, I've procrastinated a lot of my schoolwork. I've gotten behind, but my teachers are very understanding. So I try to, sometimes I talk to God and I'll be like, look, like I need you to help me out. This is not working for me right now. My mind's everywhere else. Like I need you to talk to me right now so I can get this schoolwork done, pass my exams, because midterms are coming up and it's just a lot. So, I try my best to talk to my mom. I call my grandma and my mom almost every day, and I will cry at least like 2 times a day because I'll be like, I'm overwhelmed with school. I don't think I can do this anymore because it's a lot. I take 18 credits right now, and I'm trying to double up. So it's a lot as I try to double up, and then I work too, and then I have 2 dogs. So I do a lot of praying to God because my dogs, they test my patience too. They're a lot to handle. They very much rub my blood pressure up. So when I could be at home and my friends come over and they'll be like, okay, we'll watch the dogs while you study. We'll do this, blah, blah, blah. So I really very much talk to God a lot when it comes to my schoolwork, when it comes to attending classes, because the teachers are very mean. They can be mean, but they don't really care. And you can tell. So it's like you kind of have to talk to God or drop the class. Like get yourself through it or just leave it alone.
But we gonna keep, like I said, always keep praying for you that you that you don't have to drop courses, and that you keep people around you that can help you navigate through life.
Very much.
All right, so Sierra, what is the importance of your faith and spirituality as you currently attend college as a student?
The biggest thing for me is just making sure like I'm at peace with everything that's going on around me. I'm taking 17 credits right now, and then on top of everything I do like outside of basketball, I am like extremely busy. I have to plan my days like a week in advance because like I have so much to do. And so it's really easy to like, get distracted and get so caught up in like the worldly things that sometimes you can forget about God. And so one of my biggest priorities, I would say in like the last year, is just making sure like I find that time throughout my day. If it's just 5 minutes or if it's 15 minutes, just like talking to God, praying, it's just showing gratitude. And sometimes when I pray, I don't ask for anything. It's just I'm just trying to be grateful for what I have right now. Because I used to get so caught up in just asking God for stuff that sometimes I would forget all the things that He has already done for me. And so in the last year, I've just trying to been like more grateful for everything. I definitely think I've done that better. And then with me having Bible studies and leading Bible studies or just listening to other people talk as well, it's good knowing that other young adults my age experience the same things that I experience and go through the same struggles that I do while still trying to maintain that relationship with Christ. And so building that community in the last couple of months has been very beneficial for me. And it's allowed me to stay sane even through COVID, through basketball, through school. So just maintaining my peace is like the biggest part of it so far.
Yeah, I understand. I don't know how y'all do it because you taking 18 and you taking 17. And I did what you did. I played basketball and I had to take 15. It was a requirement, but that's a lot of stuff to do on top of basketball, and then the stuff you do outside of that, you got no time. I really understand what you're saying. That's tough. I don't know how y'all do it. I'm just stuck right now. I don't know how y'all do that.
It gets easier. Like if you stay focused and like an agenda, like I have a calendar. I have a Google Calendar, so I know I'm adulting when I have to put everything in the schedule to make sure I get it done. And so like this year, staying focused and like throughout the day, I just try to take like little mental breaks just to get me through the day, and that it helps. So if it's just like laying down listening to music or just closing my eyes for 5 minutes, like that little stuff just helps. It does help. So it gets easier, I promise.
Very much. 12 credits is a lot as is, but it's kind of like you gotta learn to make time for yourself, and that's a lot that I've make a lot of time for myself. And if it's just going outside with my dog, sitting at the park, like taking them to the dog park and doing homework outside, I do that. And then like I said, I call my mom my grandma, my mom's mom, a lot, because my mom's I'm my mom's child. I get very irritated easily. I get very upset very fast. If something doesn't go right, I'm very much my mom. So talking to my grandma makes it better for me, because she's like, put your first foot forward and do what's best for you first. Calm down, take a deep breath. Everything will be okay. So taking 18 credits is very hard. It's the hardest thing I've ever done.
Yeah. I know for me, I just like write stuff down.
I'm going to take this opportunity to ask this next question. And this question is for Italya. What can I do as a spiritual leader that will help you make the transition while you're going from college to the workforce? What can any spiritual leader do to help you make that transition?
Honestly, yourself, myself, and you, we talk not all the time, but like it be sporadically. So it's like when I hear from you, it means a lot to me because you care. So it's like people that care is what keeps people going. And if you care, you let somebody know, like, I care about you. Keep pushing. You're gonna finish. If this person can do it, you can do it, and inspire other people in future. Because honestly, I know, because I'm known, my brother's known, Sierra and her brother are known, Savannah and Malik are known. Like a lot of people in Fuquay they're still in Fuquay, and it's like a lot of us don't want to still be in Fuquay. I know I definitely don't. I love Fuquay, but it's not somewhere that I want to be. So it's like I tell my sister, my cousin, but she's like my sister. I tell her and Kennedy and Cameron, Britt and AJ's sisters, like, you don't have to do everything that everybody wants you to be. Be what you want to be. Talk to people talk to an adult. You don't have to talk to your dad. You don't have to talk to me. You don't have to talk to, my mom. You don't have to talk to our family. You can go talk to a teacher. You can go talk to a friend. You can go talk to a family friend. Just talk to somebody that will help you go down the right path. Because if you don't talk to nobody, then you're gonna not go crazy, but gonna like feel defeated. And so that's what I feel like a lot of spiritual leaders can do to help, like just keep pushing us young adults in the right path. Because if we don't, God forbid anything happens to anybody, but some people end up in jail, they're dead, or they're just not doing nothing. And if you stay on the kids that has a bright future and good potential, they become something, and then they aspire to help other people become something, and the cycle just keeps going and going and going.
Great. You know what? Hey, that's all I really wanted to hear, is that you know that you got some people that care about you, and we will continue to push you and encourage you to do the right thing.
Definitely, because I know you and Mr. Baker also, Sierra's dad, everybody. It's like my dad, you, Mr. Baker, all of y'all stay on top of all of us since we was little. Like even when it comes to basketball, y'all always stayed on top of us. Like even if you don't play basketball in college, go to college and get your education, be something.
That's right.
I got one thing to say about that though too, because I know our three families, we're very family oriented, and like we're all like really close. And I know sometimes y'all might get on our nerves, like y'all always want us to go 110% and do everything. But I mean, I know sometimes we don't feel like doing it, but we got to, because y'all see the future. Y'all see more than us than we see in ourselves at times. So it's just like we might not think we need that push, but at the end of the day we do, because the stuff we do, we're just not doing it just to do it. It's do it for like a greater purpose. So I understand.
That's right, son. something for a greater purpose. I'm glad you said that. So I guess I do feel like you are listening to me. You're all listening to me. And so, Cierra, I'm going to ask you that same question. What can we do as spiritual leaders in this community to help you make the transition from college to your professional career?
Definitely just praying for me and keeping me grounded and keeping me covered, and make sure that like God sends like the right people in my life and removes the people that don't need to be there. Because I know like as we get older, we're going to go on different journeys, we're going to encounter different obstacles. And so it's just being strong enough to get through it and knowing that we're capable to. And so just praying, and then also like Italia said, y'all are very supportive, especially you and my dad. I talk to my parents every single day. They keep me grounded, and I don't even feel like my day is right if I don't talk to my parents. I call them every single day, and even though like I'm just in Raleigh, like I'm 30 minutes up the road, it's just nothing like being at home. It's nothing like being with my parents. And so when I talk to them, like they remind me of how strong I am and how far God has already brought me. And so that gives me all the motivation and all the push that I need to keep going and to get up every single day and like finish the semester out strong. And so just praying for me and my family, and that I stay grounded.
Okay. Awesome. Well, you don't have to worry about that. That's one thing that we do as a community. I know your dad, he's a praying man. And this is a praying household as well. So we will continue to keep you in prayer. That's not too difficult of a request. One more question, and while you have the floor, Cierra, I'll ask you. The Bible tells us to whom is given, much is required. How do you plan to walk out this scripture while obtaining higher education?
If I'm being quite honest, I already feel like I'm living in it. Just because I do a lot, and then I'm adding more and more to my plate, like as I get further into school. And all my friends are like, "How do you do it?" And I'm just like, honestly, y'all, I don't know. And then I sit back and I just think about how God is always with me, even when I don't realize it or when I don't think about it, and how God fights battles for me that I don't see. And that's how I get through it. And I think that without the relationship I've had with him, I would not be where I am today. And I wouldn't be able to go through the things or get through situations, no matter how big or small they are, without it. And so it's just reminding myself to like, I try my hardest to maintain like all the fruit of the spirit as possible. The main one I struggle with the most is definitely patience. Like I thought, I'm not patient.
Yeah, we all struggle with that.
I want things, like if I see something, I'm like, okay, I need to go ahead and get this done. And then I need people to match my energy and be on the same page with me to get X, Y, and Z done by a certain point. And so when people aren't, I just get stressed. And then I try to remind myself, everybody's not like me. I gotta be patient, I gotta be calm and work together, and everything's gonna work out the way God wants it to work out. And so just reminding myself of that as well is how I get through it.
Okay. All right. Italia, same question for you. As I said, the Bible tells us that whom is given, much is required. How do you plan on walking out this scripture while obtaining higher education?
Honestly, by talking to my parents and myself is how I get through it, because I've always been a believer of God. God gives his battles to the strongest people, and I've overcome a lot. So I feel like the troubles that I've had growing up since high school, the situations I put myself in to mess up my future, mess up how people look at me, the way I portray myself is really how I try to, I try to tell my sisters, tell my brother, you see the stupid stuff I've done, so don't do what I did. Mm-hmm. Don't be a bad example. I said, because there's a lot of people that look up to us. It's a lot of people that look up to us. Right. A lot of people look up to CJ and Sierra. It's a lot of people that look up to Savannah Malik, because they see our parents, they see our foundation, our family foundation and stuff. A lot of people really look up to that. So it's like, I tell my friends, like, all my friends are like, how do you have 2 dogs? How do you take 18 credits? How are you working? And I just be like, I take it one day at a time, literally one day at a time. It'll be days I won't do my homework, and then I'll go back the next morning and do it because I'm very tired. But I try to, not overwhelm myself too much and not put myself in situations I know that can make me stress and make myself and make other people and look at me in a different way. And also, like, I try not to make my family look bad because you portray people. What you do portrays on everybody that knows you, portrays on everybody that knows your family. So it's like I just try to walk my path. I don't try to give people too much advice because I'm not perfect. I'm a pyramid that's going, like, pyramid of visa. It takes time, and I'm very grateful that I've seen my wrongs, and I look at it and I try to tell people, like, you do this, this is gonna happen, and if you don't do this, then this is gonna happen. So
Yeah, well, you know what, Italia, we learn from our mistakes, and that's the good thing about our faith is that we can look back and we can see the things that God has done for us, and we can also be a witness to other people and say, you know what, God got me through this, and so I'm sure He can get you through that. But the thing is, we have to learn from our mistakes. So that's a good answer. There's no right and wrong answer because it's you and it's your personal relationship with God, and that's what matters. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of the way and allow these two seasoned young women to ask some questions that I'm hoping that it will pull some information out of you and get you thinking about your future, because it's all about your future. I knew you in your past, I know you in the present, and I pray that I will continue to know you in the future as doing great things. And so, Qisondra, I'll go ahead and pass the mic to you.
I'm gonna have to get used to the season title at the beginning of everything. But I just want to say that I've just been on here. I'm really enjoying hearing both of you all. You all really are inspiring, and I admire you. You are kind of wise beyond your age, and I'm just excited to see what the future holds for both of you. And so I'm going to get started. And the question that I have is, what inspired you? So I'll start with Sierra. What inspired you to seek a degree in criminal justice?
Ever since I was little, I've just like always said I'm gonna be a lawyer. And then as I got older, I kind of just stuck with it. And then when I got to high school, you start like having a better idea of how the world works and how things are and the rule of law, stuff like that. And I just started getting really involved in like social justice stuff. And it fascinates me. And I think that that's the biggest change that needs to happen in order for equality to be spread not only within the criminal justice system as a whole, but throughout all aspects of life. And I feel like the first way to start that, or the first step, needs to be through law and through reform. And so I kind of just stuck with it. I'm not gonna lie, TV is another reason. I love crime shows. I've seen almost every single one. And that's really what inspired me to do like criminal investigation stuff. I don't know, it just always fascinated me. And when I got to college, I took 1 or 2 classes, and I loved it. And so I've stuck with it.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. I have the same question for you. Is it Italia, or how do I pronounce it? I want to pronounce it correctly.
it's Italia, but you can call me
Italia. I can call you
Talia.
Italia. Okay. So I have the same question for you.
What got me into criminal justice was a lot has been going on in this world, and I'm very much not a fan for it. And I'm very much, when everybody was doing their Black Lives Matter protests, I wasn't out there. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't out there because of the simple fact of, like, I didn't know how the police was gonna act and how they was gonna treat everybody and what they was gonna do, because majority of my friends went out there and they got pepper spray, they got hit with the police things, I don't know what they're called, their little batons or whatever. They got hit with those. They got shielded. Some of them even got arrested. So I really wanted to deal with criminal justice because, I have a brother. He's Black. He's 19 years old, And I very much fear for him all the time when he goes out, all the time, because we're in a time now where they don't really care what you do. They look at the color of your skin first. And I tell my brother, you know, whatever you do, don't talk back, don't raise your hands, don't reach for nothing, don't do nothing. Just stand still, act like you hear them, and be as still as mice. So I wanted to be a police officer, but you know, it's very, you see the rights and the wrongs with police officers. And my mom and dad, my brother said a comment to me like, you know, I want to be a police officer and they don't really help Black people. And I'm like, it got to start somewhere, because if we continue, we're not gonna be in good positions, you know. And dealing with what I've been through and the criminal differences that I've really encountered in high school, it made me open my eyes, like, you know, they're not really fair to a lot of kids. I've seen stuff in courthouses where somebody I knew was murdered in high school. Somebody with her boyfriend killed her, and he's walking free now. So it's like, you know, something about the system has to change. A white kid could go into a school, bring a gun, bring something, they're gonna suspend him. A Black child brings something into school, it's gonna cause this whole thing. Police officers get called, they're going to jail, they got a record, and they're assumed to be a thug. So it's like, my whole reason to being in the criminal justice major is to, you know, show other people, you know, if a Black kid's a thug, you know, then what's the difference with a white child? What doesn't make them a thug? What they have, they're described as psychotic breaks, or they're mentally ill.
I lost your sound a little bit, Talia. I can't hear her. Can y'all hear her? I lost her.
Yeah.
I didn't hear her in the last part either.
Yeah, the last part I didn't hear her, so she may not have
I'm
realized
sorry,
that.
my AirPods had got connected to something else. I had said that the reason why I joined criminal justice was because, you know, if they can say that a Black kid's a thug and then a white kid is, you know, mentally ill, or they're not capacitated enough, then it's like something got to give in the middle. Like, we got to come to an agreement that both of these kids are either thugs or they're both mentally incapacitated for what they did. So that's really why I want to deal with, like, you know, lawyers, DAs, prosecutors, all of that, because I feel like every child, or every person in general, deserves a fair trial. Deserves fair descriptions and fair recognition for what they did, and not be prosecuted because of the color of their skin.
I definitely agree with that. And I appreciate you both sharing. My next question is, in an ideal world, what will you be doing with your criminal justice degree in 5 years? And I start with you, Talia.
Like I said before when we first started, my ideal 5-term goal is to go to Quantico and do FBI training or CIA training or DSA or anything that deals in that particular range is what I want to do. But if that doesn't work out, I do want to go to law school still and, you know, get my master's and get and be a lawyer. So I haven't really planned out my 5-year plan. I have it planned out, but I don't have it planned out because
and that's okay. Yeah. Because sometimes we have a 5-year plan and don't work out exactly how we expect it to do. I'm a testament to that. So it's okay that you don't have it, but it's good that you're starting to think about it already. Cierra, I have the same question for you.
So in 5 years, I'll be like 25, 26. So hopefully by that point, I would have been working in law enforcement for at least like a year or two by that point. And so probably I'll have to be a cop for 2 years. But I do plan on going to law school. Hopefully I'll be done by that point. I'm not trying to be in school forever. So hopefully I'll be done with law school by that point. And then be a cop for a little bit and then work my way up to criminal investigations at like a law enforcement, like a local law enforcement, or maybe even SBI. And then eventually I want to go to FBI training as well, and then hopefully be a federal agent by at least age 29 to 30. And then my backup plan is to be a prosecutor. That's my backup plan.
Good. I like that. I like that you all are thinking about what you're going to do. Now, my next question was going to be, what steps are you taking? But y'all actually already answered that. So I'm going to ask another question to you all. I went and I looked at both of your schools' websites when I knew that I was going to be interviewing you. And both of your schools have study abroad programs. I know you all talked about internships, but have either of you considered doing a study abroad program that's kind of centered around criminal justice, to look at how other countries handle criminal justice issues? I'll start with you, Sierra.
Okay.
I've looked into studying abroad, but I'm very, very skeptical about it, only because of COVID. That's just like the only thing like preventing me from like really pursuing it. And I actually haven't. The interest meetings that I have been to, it just took us like through a step-by-step process of like what we would do each day on the days we would be gone and like where we would be at. And so it was like we go all throughout Europe, and like we were in Florence one day, and then we were in Venice for 2 days, and then all over the place. And so I don't think that they would have like a concentration in criminal justice, but I'm sure like if I made that a priority and I asked, and they could probably work something out as well. But I actually have not thought about that. I'm doing a research project right now though on different types of criminal justice practices in the US compared to other countries. I'm specifically looking at the prison system, looking at male recidivism rates in the US compared to other questions compared to other countries like Norway or Sweden. So that's what my project is on right now. And so I could probably use that in like doing more research about like other countries as well. But I don't think that our study abroad program has like a concentration, because so many different people go. Because Peace is very, very small. Like Peace has less than 1,000 students. I have more students at my high school than I do here. And so it's very, very small. So since so many majors of different students go to on the trips, they probably don't have a concentration for just criminal justice.
And before I say anything else, well, I appreciate you sharing. Before I say anything else, I'm going to hear from Talia, and then I'll just share something with you all before I hand it over to Shan-Tika.
I haven't thought about studying abroad, but I do know a few people that say like it was something that really changed their lives. It made them. Some people told me that, my teacher told me it made her realize, I just want to teach criminal justice. I don't want to do nothing in criminal justice, because you see a lot, and it's like being in law enforcement, dealing with criminal justice. Like my teacher told me, like, only the strong survive. Like it takes a lot to deal with somebody's not problems, but like what they go through with law enforcement. So I want to study abroad, but like Sierra said, COVID is very much scaring me. Until I get my vaccine, I don't think I'm gonna go out the country. And I also want to go to like Spain, because Spain's prison system is kind of messed up. So it's like I want to learn about how they deal with their inmates versus how we deal with our inmates down here.
That's great. I'm glad that y'all thought about it, because when I was growing up, first generation student, I didn't know much about study abroad. And even though you may not be able to go right now, if it's something that you're interested in, just consider it. I studied abroad when I was in law school, and I got to go to Europe, and I got to go to the Netherlands, and I got to sit in on the trial that was going on about blood diamonds. And it did change your life, right? And it does open you up to actually beyond just reading about it. You get to live and you get to experience it. So if you have that opportunity and it's something you're interested in, just let me know. I'm willing to help you all, because again, remember, your college education is yours. So they may not have programs that's technically geared to what you always want to do, but you can go to your career advisor and say, this is something I'm interested in. Help me find a program so that I can do this. And Sierra, I really like the fact that you're doing research with the prison system, because that's what I wrote my paper on with my MPH. Yeah, and that's been my focus. But thank you, ladies, so much. And I'm going to hand it over to Shan-Tika.
In the interest of time, and also also the fact that I feel like during the course of this conversation, you guys have touched on some of the questions that I had. I've kind of revised. So my first question is, we talked about sometimes the initial plan that you formulate for yourself or plan to implement doesn't work out. One, or I know you said that you're still working through things, but just I want you to kind of speak on the importance of having a contingency plan and having the mental preparedness to deal with those things not working out and having to refocus and re realign your priorities or your objectives. And either one of you can approach the question.
Okay, I got it. I'll go first. I think that having a plan keeps you focused, and it allows you to set a lot of small-term goals and then or short-term goals. And then once you reach those goals, it makes getting to your big ultimate goal a lot easier. Because I feel like within that process, you find out what you like, what you don't like. You learn a lot of information. And so by that point, you would really know if this is something that you're serious about, something you're not serious about. And then of course, if you get to a point and nothing goes the way you plan, it's just making sure you have other options, and are prepared for anything that may come your way. Not that doesn't necessarily mean like give up on your goal, but that does mean that you have to figure out an alternative way to get there, because there's a million different ways to get to one location. And so it's just making sure that you can adapt and face adversity and overcome it in order to get to that point. And so being mentally tough is probably the biggest thing, because some things are just out of our control, unfortunately, and that's just a part of life. And so it's just understanding that and not letting that make you feel like you aren't strong enough or aren't capable.
I would say having a strong mental mind is what keeps like your short-term goals in its path. Like if you have the mindset, I'm not going to finish, I'm not going to do this, I can't do this, you start listing all your problems, then your short-term goals are going to become impossible. So I feel like you speak positivity in existence with your short-term goals, you'll accomplish them short-term goals. Then you speak your long-term goal into existence, then your long-term goal will be spoken to existence. It'll come true. So I feel like, for me personally, that's what I have to do, because when I got accepted to Pembroke, after they told me that I wasn't accepted, I was like, I felt defeated. And I very much was like, talk to God, like, what am I not doing? What was I not doing right? I had a 3.3 and I was like, I'm not understanding, like, what's going on? Why can't I get into one of the easiest schools in North Carolina? So it's like, once that happened, I was like, dang, like, maybe I need to change all my life plans, all my life goals. But it's like, when you hit a hardship or you hit a hard block, you don't give up on it. You keep pushing yourself, because stuff's not going to go your way. Life is not fair. So you have to keep being positive and speaking your positive energy into the light, so that you can make yourself successful in any means possible.
Exactly. And those are precisely, I guess, the points we were trying to get across, is that things don't always work out the way you plan. And so you don't want to give up on your goals. Sometimes it's just going to take, you have to take a detour to get there. So it's important to have people, mentors, pastors, church, whoever it is that you can confide in, people in place to be that confidant or that outlet for you when you encounter these situations. Also, building in self-care, which I think Italya spoke to that, whether it's going to just take a walk. And I think Cierra, you did as well, when you say how you just take moments throughout the day. Sometimes you just need those little moments just to kind of refuel and get back on task. So my second question, also I'm going to kind of revamp, is a lot of times I think we put ourselves in situations sometimes, or we encounter situations, and it may just be, or maybe it's a familial situation where our family thinks or expects so much of us that we get in positions where we don't say no, or we won't say no to people. In those situations, are you prepared to actually say no when you need to? Or on the flip side, there's a negative situation that's being brought to you. Are you prepared to remove that negative roadblock or obstacle out of your way so that you can move past and get to your objectives and things you want to accomplish? Again, either one can speak first.
I was the child growing up, out of me and my brother, I couldn't say no to anybody. I couldn't. I've always been that person, like, you need something, I'll give you my last. So it's like, I've had very high standards from my family, like, do good things. Like, being on the Peakway, I went to Southeast, which was really weird that I went all the way to the south side of Raleigh to go to high school, and I lived down the street from Peakway, but it's because my mom had big goals for me. She wanted me to go to one of the best STEM schools in North Carolina at the time. And
yes,
speaking up now that I look back, I should have told my mom, like, I didn't want to go, because don't get me wrong, I love my high school. I love Southeast. It's a very good school, but, I feel like with what I look at now and where the position I'm in now, I should have told my mom no. Like, I should have just went to Peakway and seen everybody that I didn't want to see and just suck it up and go play basketball and just go about my day and go home. But, trying not to say no to people is the hardest thing people go through, because you want to help everybody. You see people have helped you so much, so you want to continue to help people that have helped you. And that's really been like my problem growing up. And then once I got to Pembroke, I was like, I told my mom, I was like, I don't think I can do this biology thing anymore. I said, it's kicking my butt. It's literally like kicking my butt. Like, having to sit there and study and study and study. Like, but criminal justice, I'm not going to say it's easy, but you understand a lot because it's common. It's either common sense or it's right from wrong. You do this, you're good. This is going to happen. You don't do this, then you're okay from all the law enforcement stuff. So it's like, I want to say last year, I told my mom, I was like, yeah, after this semester, I'm changing my major. I said, I can't do it. I said, I know you want me to be a doctor. I know my grandma wants me to be a doctor. I said, but I just don't think this is for me anymore. Like, at some point in time, you have to put your foot down for yourself, because you're not living for your mom. You're not living for your dad. You're not living for your grandma. You're not living for your brother, your sister, your cousins. You're living for yourself. And you have to do what makes you happy. And if you do what makes other people happy, then you're just not going to be happy. And at that point, that's where I was. I was happy, but I wasn't happy. And you could tell, because I was like, I don't really want to go to class. This will make my head hurt. Like, I used to cry a lot last semester because I was like, I know it. And then a test come around and I'll be like, oh my God, like, I forgot. So telling my mom no, like, I got to change was really something big for me.
For me, my parents have like always told me, whatever I want to do, like, they support, and whatever path I want to take, they will help me the best way they can. And for those of you that know my dad, I'm like 90% of my dad and like 10% of my mom. I'm hoping as I get older, I turn more into my mom, because she's very patient and kind and willing, and she's a lot more selfless than any person I've ever met in my life. One thing about me is, like, I just feel like the people in your life should, the amount of energy and effort that you give to a person, it should always be reciprocated. And I feel that in the past, when I've been in situations where I feel like the people in my life aren't bettering me and they're not helping me reach the goals or become the person that I want to become, removing them is something that has never been difficult for me. It's having those difficult conversations is not something that I've struggled with, because I feel like communication is very important. And so if you are communicating with somebody and they're just not meeting you at that same point, then and they're not providing any benefit to your life at all, I just don't really see the point in keeping that relationship. And so saying no or removing people from my life has not been something that I've struggled with. And I definitely get that characteristic from my dad, because he's always told me to always put God first, always put myself first, and stay steadfast and stay strong, and then everything will come that God wants to happen. And so if you have certain people in your life, they can sometimes prevent you from getting to that point. And I didn't realize that until I got into high school. And so when I started removing those people, I started becoming the person I wanted to become. And then I definitely think it helped me get to where I am today. And so in the future, since I already had that instilled in me, I don't foresee that being a problem at all. And so I'm just grateful that I've had that experience at the age I've had it at and earlier. So that way, when I do get older and I am starting to go into my career, but having those conversations won't be foreign for me. It'll be second nature.
Um,
Well, I think both of you ladies have had a great foundation, and you are definitely on a path to success. I feel like you are prepared mentally, and with the support of others, you will definitely get to the places in life that you strive to. I think I've kind of touched on most of the points that I wanted to bring home, which is that self-care, making sure you're mentally prepared and taking care of yourself mentally, as well as having people to lean on if necessary, and always, making efforts to network and think outside the box. Maybe the one career path that you thought was what was ideal for you was not. So, but this other career path could be akin to it and could possibly be another option, but you just haven't thought of it. So just always try to think outside the box, utilize your resources, network, and don't be afraid to make some of those hard decisions. Sometimes in life, and especially as in becoming an adult, you get in situations where you have to make decisions and you don't know what to do, and you fail, and sometimes you don't make the right decision. But the point is always learn from that,
Yeah.
and turn that loss into a win by learning the lesson that was meant for you. Again, myself and Cassandra do not mind being resources for you in your past, so feel free to reach out to us beyond today. Thanks.
Wow, that's amazing. As a matter of fact, that's
Pastor Holland, can I say one thing? I do want to say that we are pretty cool, seasoned women. I know he keeps calling us seasoned, but we're pretty cool. We're down to earth, so we'll be very honest, but we're here to support.
okay. You know what? I actually I can vouch for what Qisondra and Shan-Tika just said. When I asked them to be part of this, they were in agreement with it, and they are very, very valuable resources. And so, with them offering those resources, I suggest that you all take advantage of that, because sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know. And these individuals, these are, I don't want to call them hidden gems, because they're no longer in the background. Neither one of them like to be in the forefront. But Qisondra and Shan-Tika, they are valuable resources and assets to the Fuquay Varina community. These are awesome young women. And so if there is anyone that you should inspire to be like, I'm sure that they wouldn't mind being an example as to how you should live your life. Both Qisondra and Shan-Tika, they are God-fearing women, and they are serious about their business. Otherwise, I wouldn't fool with them. And otherwise, they probably wouldn't fool with me if I didn't have some certain things straight either. But they're good people. Um, that is a valuable resource, and that's something that you really you should not overlook at all. Where you are in life right now, you're in a part of your life to where you need those resources that go beyond people that you already know, because they're going to be able to help navigate you through certain things in life. Now, I'm not saying they're going to spend 24 hours with you, but I'm sure that they wouldn't mind responding to your inquiries, and at some point sitting down with you, having coffee with you, um, or just having tea with you, and just being available for you. Qisondra and Shan-Tika, they're very involved in their community. Um, I think that they both are involved in so much when it comes to um, giving back to their communities, even though they're not Fuquay, even though they're transplants, they're still making an impact right here in this area. And so, Talia and Sierra, I hope that you really accept what they have to offer, because it will only help you win. It'll only help you win. One other thing that I want to make an announcement before we jump off this this broadcast is that we have an event coming up on June 18th and 19th. It's called Manifest, where we will be highlighting some of the Fuquay natives and some of the companies and businesses that are right here within Fuquay Arena. I know that both of you all, I heard Italia say that she would like to go somewhere else and use her talents and gifts, but there are some companies right here within this community that will probably benefit from your talent. And who knows? They see that you have a Fuquay Arena address, and they have an address of Fuquay Arena right here. They probably will be more likely to choose you for the job, especially if you're connected with good people in the community and your grades are what they should be. Who knows? Fuquay Arena might be able to take advantage of the talent right here. In our services that we have on Sunday, we normally make the announcement. We'll have the flyer up. I don't have the flyer up right now to show people, but please, if those people that are listening to this broadcast or viewing this broadcast, please support Manifest. There'll be more information forthcoming. And I thank all of the panelists, everyone that took their time out of their busy day to do this.
You're breaking up, Pastor Holland.
Okay, can you all hear me now? We're good to go? Okay, I was gonna thank everyone for taking their time out of their day to spend this time with us and share your testimonies and share your personal experiences. And I hope people can glean and learn from those experiences. Until next time, over and out. This is Real Talk Saturday. Pastor Emmanuel, over and out. God bless you.